Julie and her spouse, Todd Chrisley, have been in jail since 2023. Savannah Chrisley is advertising an overhaul on her mother's time in prison with an individual touch. On the most recent scene of the Unlocked with Savannah Chrisley podcast, the 26-year-old reality TV star perused an arrangement of letters from her mother, recording the final year she's went through in government jail as she currently serves a decreased 5-year sentence in Lexington, Kentucky, after being indicted on government charge fraud. Julie's husband, Todd, is right now serving his diminished 10-year sentence within the Government Restorative Institution, SCI, Pensacola in Florida. Everyone's been inquiring how's mother, how's mom, and I've been attempting to figure out, the most perfect way to donate you an awfully in-depth reply to that address, Savannah says. The Chrisley Knows Best star uncovered that her mother gave her consent to share the substance of the letters, which record her to begin with 14 days in government prison. When perusing through them, a few things will truly make you chuckle, and a few things will truly make you cry, she says. Truly, when I studied them, it makes me so pitiful, but at the same time it gives me so much consolation seeing my mom's penmanship, and knowing that she touched it which she perused it, Savannah says. Savannah started Julie's jail journal arrangement with a section composed on January 17, 2023, the day that Julie detailed to prison. I knew my life was almost to alter until the end of time, Julie's passage started. My spouse and I stood in our room, right before our supplication seat, and said our goodbyes. We embraced, we kissed, and we implored. Sometime recently, he strolled out the entryway heading to Pensacola, Florida with Savannah, Grayson, and Scratch. This would be the final time I would speak to my spouse confront to confront. We talked on the phone amid his ride to Pensacola. I called one final time. Sometime recently, I self-surrendered to the camp in Lexington. Savannah got to be passionate as she perused Julie's contemplations on isolating from her spouse. What a calming thought! The man I had lived with, raised a family with, and adored more than life itself, is presently briefly dwelling in Florida and me and Kentucky. My guardians and the child that made me a mother, Chase, along with Chad, our expensive companion, drove to Kentucky. I might not wrap my head around the truth that I was going to be isolated from my husband and children for what appears like a lifetime. Julie's journal proceeded with her entering the jail, which she compared to a crazy refuge, and being welcomed by the lady who would be the pioneer of the prison's church, as she made it to her cell in the Devil's Den, which was the most smoking portion of the prison. As the journal sections proceeded, Julie recorded her involvement within the commissary, and the primary night, she went through interior the facility, where she played rode spades, and was welcomed by the ladies interior with endowments from the commissary. Things took a pitiful turn as Savannah examined her mother's third passage, where Julie uncovered that she had her to begin with breakdown, as she realized how much she missed her husband. I miss Todd so much that it harms. I've never gone this long without talking to him. Nowadays was my to begin with breakdown, Julie said. Savannah uncovered that Julie and Todd, who have been hitched since 1996, were able to communicate through email 2 months after they detailed to their individual jails. As of February 20, 2023, they have not communicated on the phone. Within the days that taken after, Julie recorded how on edge she felt knowing that her family was gathered to come visit, and the plausibility that visits would be canceled. On day 6, Julie was gone by her babies. Julie also documented perusing an article that claimed she had a relationship with a male detainee at another jail. I was so mad. There's completely no truth to it, Julie's entry read. Within the days that followed, Julie got her to begin with idealistic phone call from her lawyer, had a visit from Savannah, Chloe, and her guardians, and see a detainee flipping out. Julie reported the time that Chloe came to visit, and how she went through time holding with her by educating her how to play spades. Savannah got to be enthusiastic as she reflected on the visit she had with her mother, and shared how solid she is. I keep in mind going and sitting down with mother, and I think it was so difficult seeing her that way. But fair getting to embrace her and touch her, it made everything so much superior, she says. I've too learned that one-on-one time is important. She includes, I think for myself, once you have somebody like my mother who is the most grounded individual that I know to compose a letter talking almost how solid she accepts I am. I think that's just a crazy compliment since when I see it her, I don't believe anybody may likely be any more grounded than her. By the end of Julie's letters, she shares how she is seeing ladies inquiring for assets and help and not getting it. Savannah finished the podcast by sharing that Julie likely cleared out a parcel of things out of her letters in fear of stressing her, and said that she would proceed to study the journal sections at another time. That was extreme. That was intense perusing back on these, since in all honesty, I examined them one time when she sent them, and I haven't pulled them out once more since I fair can't stomach to do so, she says. I'm intending to take a break, regroup, and after that I will begin back on day 15. Get ready because the letters as it were get more strongly. In January, Julie and Todd earned a slight victory in their jail sentences. The couple's legal counselor, Burr and foreman accomplice Alex Small, declared that the couple resolved their 2019 government claim against Joshua Waits, the previous chief of special investigations for the Georgia Office of Income. The Chrisleys recorded a lawsuit against Waits, alleging that he mishandled his control as portion of an exertion to prosecute bogus tax avoidance claims against them. As a result, the former reality TV stars were awarded a settlement from the state of Georgia within the sum of $1 million. For more on Todd and Julie's time in jail, press underneath.